Greetings, this is Helevon and we're here for a new analysis of song lyrics. Today's choice comes from a band that brought hard rock music back into the mainstream after winning Eurovision Song Contest 2021, namely the Italian band Måneskin. I haven't been as excited about Eurovision since 2006 when the Finnish hard rock band Lordi won the competition. Today's choice is a gothic rock piece of poetic sensibility about depression, anxiety, inner strength, and unconditional love. The song is in Italian, so the lyric video will provide a translation into English. I can understand Italian so as to get a sense of the original lyrics, which is important when analyzing poetry. This is Coraline.
Dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, 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 Coraline bella come il sole, corriera dal cuore zelante, capelli come rose rosse, preziosi quei fili di rame, amore portali da me.
Coraline is introduced as a woman of hidden depths. Tell Me Your Truth suggests that there is an entire world she keeps inside, potentially opening perspectives to those who care to understand her, but because she's an introvert, she keeps it all to herself. She is sensitive but also stoic, and with her empathy she feels pain, which she carries with great strength.
Se senti campane cantare, vedrai Coraline che piange, che prende il dolore degli altri e poi lo porta dentro lei.
Her cry is compared to the sound of bells, which I read here as a religious metaphor. And she is compared to a holy warrior and a martyr, which will be congruent to an image that we will see later on. So she is a sort of a Virgin Mary or a female Christ who fights to alleviate the pain of those around her.
Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, però lei sa la verità. Non è per tutti andare avanti con il cuore che è diviso in due metà.
The heart divided in two could mean heartbreak, so a deception in her life, but it could also be a metaphor for depression and anxiety. Depression is here described as cold and riveting, creating a split between what she projects and what she internalizes and keeps hidden.
È freddo già. È una bambina però sente come un peso e prima o poi si spezzerà.
What Coraline carries inside of her is much darker than the gentle image she projects. So although she's young, she has been through more than most people can take. But no matter how strong she is, this fracture created within her by depression and anxiety could escalate and overwhelm her.
La gente dirà non vale niente, non riesce neanche a uscire da una misera porta, ma un giorno una volta lei ci riuscirà.
We have here the first image of that hints at domestic abuse. So her trauma is unfolding indoors, and getting out of the door could potentially save her. Of course, a door could be metaphorical too, suggesting escape. The stigma associated with depression is voiced in people's callous gossip. So people in these situations are sometimes accused of being weak or not being able to snap out of it and escape the state that they are in. So it is only the narrator here, the lyrical I, who believes in her.
Coraline che può crescere, prendere le sue cose e poi partire, ma sente un mostro che la tiene in gabbia, che le ricopre la strada di mine.
The narrator believes in her strengths and tries to encourage her to break free, but his encouragement is met with apathy, with hopelessness, and with her lack of a will to go on. because depression isn't sadness. It is numbness, it is the absence of any positive feeling, a feeling that you are trapped as if in a cage by a monster, where you're controlled by your thoughts.
Detto a Coraline che può crescere, prendere le sue cose e poi partire. Ma Coraline non vuole mangiare, no. Sì, Coraline vorrebbe sparire.
Depression is presented as numbness, the frustration of knowing that there are good things in the world, but they simply don't feel fulfilling to you. So food doesn't feel fulfilling to Coraline, nor does the knowledge that there is someone who loves her, the narrator, and nor does life itself, because she feels that all she wants is to disappear.
E Coraline piange, Coraline all'ansia, Coraline vuole il mare ma ha paura dell'acqua, e forse il mare è dentro di lei.
I understand the sea here as a metaphor for freedom and strength. The sea is a vast expanse, it is tumultuous both on the surface and underneath, and it can be seen as a vehicle towards freedom. It can lead you somewhere safe. So Coraline is attracted to the excitement and the adventure of it and the possibility of freedom, but she feels that this is unattainable, or at least that she is not worthy for it. So her attempt to pursue what could potentially make her happy is paralyzed by fear. So the paralysis, even in front of something good, is another trait of depression and neurosis.
E ogni parola è un'ascia, un taglio sulla piena, come una zattera che naviga in un fiume in piena. E forse il fiume è dentro di lei, di lei.
Maybe the sea is inside of her. This line suggested that the strength that she is longing for is already within, but she cannot see it right now. Similarly, we have here the image of the swollen river. So her everyday feels like a struggle, like suffering. The words hurt her like blades. So this is perhaps the callousness of other people who are oblivious to her suffering. So she feels that all forces, the river, are against her, but maybe this force is in fact inside of her, again pointing to her inner strength.
Sarò il fuoco ed il freddo, riparo d'inverno, sarò ciò che respiri, capirò cosa hai dentro e sarò l'acqua da bere, il significato del bene.
The narrator here wants to save her, to help her get out of the hopeless state that she is in. He promises to be everything she needs. Fire and cold, like an alpha and omega, air and water as elements indispensable to life. And he promises to understand her more than anything. And then you remember the cold was used as a metaphor for depression, so here he promises to be her shelter against it.
Sarò anche un soldato, ho la luce di sera e in cambio non chiedo niente, soltanto un sorriso, ogni tua piccola lacrima, oceano sopra il mio viso.
The narrator understands her suffering and he is driven by an urge to do something about it, anything. The image of Coraline as a savior that we see in the beginning, where she takes on the pain of others, is here reversed, and the narrator appears as the one who suffers with her and feels her pain amplified. Your every tear is an ocean upon my face.
In cambio non chiedo niente, solo un po' di tempo, sarò un vessillo scudo, ho la tua spada d'argento.
The narrator here takes on the image of a knight errant, the knight in shining armor trope, which is an element that comes out of the medieval chivalric romance and is an image that is often met in Gothic fiction and music. So this archetype is that of a virtuous man who is both sensitive and brave, and who fights for causes that he believes in, often fighting in the name of a lady in the process. So more than a shelter, which is a passive kind of help, like a shoulder to cry on, here he wants to be to take on a dynamic role of a warrior.
E Coraline piange, Coraline lancia, Coraline vuole il mare ma ha paura dell'acqua, e forse il mare è dentro di lei. E ogni parola è un'ascia, un taglio sulla piena, come una zattera che naviga in un fiume in piena, e forse il fiume è dentro di lei, di lei.
It doesn't seem to me that he and Coraline are lovers, although he does love her unconditionally. So this selfless love makes him not want for love in return, but he asks her for time and for a smile, suggesting that once she is healed, she will find the joy of life again, the smile, but this will happen in time. We can hear the elements of the Gothic not only in the heavy themes and the tone of the entire poem, the dark romance, the sadness, the morbidity, the night image, but also in this deep atmospheric soundscape and the dark arrangement of the music. And the song's poetic quality is also suggested by the composition. We have a ballad with a progressive three-piece composition, right? An introduction, a body, and an ending, which we are listening to right now.
Dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline, dimmi le tue verità, Coraline, Coraline.
The final stanza is a reiteration of the first one, but here we will get a deeper sense of a tragedy, lost pregnancy, a tumultuous and maybe abusive relationship with the father, and loneliness.
Come il sole, ha perso il frutto del suo ventre, non ha conosciuto l'amore. Un padre che di padre ha niente, le han detto in città c'è un castello, con mura talmente potenti che se ci vai a vivere dentro non potrà colpirti più niente. Potrà colpirti più.
This image of the castle again echoes the chivalric romance theme and is a Gothic element. So it is an impenetrable fortress where she is protected from sorrows and evil. So this is a potential escape. But in the end of the song, this escape is not realized. So the song doesn't have the happy ending that our narrator hoped for. Because Coraline has the strength of character, she has the support of someone who cares about her, and all she needs now is the motivation. But this has to come from the inside. So this was my analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for another analysis of song lyrics.